Some of you have asked how you can help us, while most of us would say we want wine. Italian Wine Podcast is a publicly funded, sponsor-driven enterprise that needs the moolah. You can donate through Patreon or GoFundMe by heading to ItalianWinePodcast.com. We would appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to The Next Generation. I'm Victoria Cece. Join me as we chat with young Italian wine people shaking up the wine scene. We're going to geek out on a grape or grape fam, then hear about all the wild wine things our guests have been up to, from vineyard experiments to their favorite wine bars.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Next Generation podcast with me, Victoria Cece. So today we are going to be talking about some really fun things, some really Tuscan things. We have a fun little grape discussion from the book, Italian Wine Unplugged, with a little sprinkle of the Jumbo Shrimp Guide to Italian Wine on Aleatico, a fun grape that is quite ancient and quite Tuscan. And then we're going to move into our interview with the lovely Giulia Scalzini of Poggio al Grillo winery in Castagneto Carducci. Now, before we get into our interview, let's learn a little bit about Aleatico. Now, if you've never heard about Aleatico before, please don't feel dumb. It is a awesome grape, but it's still very much under the radar. Another reason why we're chatting with Giulia, because she's doing super cool things with this grape. She's so young, and I feel like such an underachiever, but inspiration. Moving on. Aleatico. So, Aleatico is an aromatic red variety of central Italy with a history back to the ancient Romans. Now, a biotype of Aleatico is used to make wine historically known as Vernaccia di Pergola in the Marche. So, going outside of Tuscany, Le Marche, another region. Synonyms include Aleatica, Aleatica di Firenze, Aleatichina, and many Aleaticos dell'Elba, d'Altamura, di Beneventoare. And Aleatico is also an offspring of Moscato Bianco and is related to the Lacrima and possibly Sangiovese and Galliopo. And if you didn't know, Sangiovese is a parent of Galliopo, other grapes we're not discussing right now. Just a little fun fact. Now, Aleatico does have a DOCG, Aleatico Passito, which is a delicious dessert wine from the beautiful island of Elba, which is most famous for Aleatico and Napoleon. He was exiled there. Another fun fact. Not that you need to know that. And Aleatico also is found in other IGPs in central Italy, mostly Tuscany and Le Marche, and also Puglia. Now, Aleatico, as I said before, it is found made as a dessert wine, like the Elba Aleatico Passito. And it's also made into a dry red wine, even a rosato, something fun we'll get into later. And yeah, that is Aleatico, right from the Italian Wine Unplugged book. It is time now to invite our special guest on, Giulia Scalzini of Poggio al Grillo winery in Castagneto Carducci, which is in Tuscany. And let's do it. Hi, ciao, Giulia. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. And you?
Good. Thank you for being on the Next Generation podcast with me. Happy that we're having no technical difficulties.
Yeah. No, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the opportunity. So amazing. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here. So how are you? How's your day going? Most importantly.
It's good. A little bit of rain, so a good day.
Good. I mean, I survived now until 3:47 p.m., as an American would say. So I think it's a good day. Unfortunately, it gets dark in an hour, which that's winter, but I won't think too much about that. Let's dive into it. Obviously, you're here on the podcast because of wine. You're a young person in wine. And I hope you don't mind if I ask. I didn't catch your age. How old are you, by the way, if you don't mind if I ask?
27 years old.
Okay, I'm 26. Okay, so we're basically the same age.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your role at the winery.
First of all, in the winery, I do a bit of everything. because we are very, very little. I fell into wine in a very, very strange way because my family, in fact, is not an historical wine family. Both of my parents are doctors. My sister is a lawyer and a researcher. So I met the wine when my father planted in Alfetta for vineyard in 2008. He has always had this passion, and so he always made a little bit of wine for himself. A caratello of Vinsanto each year is not not a lot, but delicious. Even before to have the vineyard, and so I was at the high school at the time, and we did not have our own cellar. He vinified for rent in other nearby cellars. When the vineyard he planted in 2008 in Castagneto Carducci starting to producing, and he planted his favorite grapes is Aleatico, so a very, very wonderful wine grape. And so I met the wine following him through the vineyard and the wineries in which we vinified for rent. And it was then that I really knew the world of wine and I fell in love with it. So after high school, I decided to study to become a winemaker, and we started together the adventure. So since 2015, we have our own cellar at Poggio al Grillo. We are still very, very little because now we have 2 hectares in total and many projects for the future, so stay tuned. And so for this reason, in a very, very little winery, you have to do everything, but I love to do everything. So from the vineyard, from pruning to the harvest time, to the cellar, some internal analysis too. I design labels, which are always the results of a family brainstorming, but it's everything, also the bottling and commercialization, social media management, everything.
Well, you do everything.
Yeah.
You do everything. So it's just rename the winery Giulia Scalzini then. No, I'm kidding. But speaking of the name Poggio al Grillo, how did it get the name Poggio al Grillo?
So the name Poggio al Grillo is the name of our hill. It means literally hills of the cricket. So it's funny, and it's the name of our hill. So it's local, and I really love the name because at first it's my father which chose the name at the beginning, at the very beginning, and then we built together our adventure creating a winery together with my father, and then it slowly involved the whole family, so we're very proud of it. And now we are producing three wines, no, actually 4, because there is a red new entry, and one is our white wine, so 80% of Petit Manseng and 20% of ancient grapes, Tuscanian, from an old vineyard that we recovered. We say it is our white Tuscanian wine for oysters. It's provocation because it's very fresh and vertical. And also we produce a Rosatico, our rosé 100% of Aleatico, which has a very unique personality, and Rezzeno, which is the Aleatico Passito, the dream for which it all began. It's a sweet wine, but very balanced dessert wine because it's sweety but not too much, and it makes you want to ask for another glass, which is very important. And then the red wine, but it's a new project, so for the future. For now, we're doing a very, very little production last year. The name was Try the Second, because our second harvest of this little vineyard of Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and a little bit of Sangiovese, to be also part of the territory, because until 2018 we produce a white, a rosé, and a sweet wine. So very strange for a land of red wines. So now we have also the red.
When I discovered your winery, the Rosatico, I was like, that is a brilliant name. And I guess you came up with it because you do everything at the winery. So I'm like, this is great, like Rosatico, because not everyone knows Aleatico, outside of Tuscany or Italy, that is. So I think it's an amazing way to kind of like, introduce people to Aleatico apart from the pasito version, which is, and I've actually never tried it. I love the color, by the way.
Thank you.
So that's enough to get me in. If anyone else has never seen this wine, it's beautiful, the color. It like screams summer. Like you just are like, and then now that I'm cold, I'm even more upset about it. But you could drink it all year round, of course.
We are super proud of the color. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's because like, and soon to dive a little bit into where your winery is. I think people love Toscana, they love Tuscany, but they often don't realize, like, because there's certain things, and maybe you could tell me one of them. Actually, that's a good question for you, as like you're being from Tuscany. What is one stereotype about Tuscany that annoys you?
Well, we have several stereotypes. Maybe the most annoying is to make very full-bodied, too alcoholic wines. It's not at all like this. We can also produce very very fresh and good wines. So no, it's obviously that we produce good wine, but also wine style much more fresh and much more contemporaneous. So for this reason, we joke we joke we have the white Tuscanian wine for oysters. This is the the joke.
Well, yeah, looking at the map of where you're located, it's like you're the Muscadet now.
Yeah, but because it's 80% of Petit Manseng, so very very acid. But also Aleatico is very fresh, and Aleatico is a grape little bit rare. We have 300 hectares in Italy, 20 in France, 2 hectares in Australia. So I really want to to meet he produces Aleatico in Australia.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's such a great grape because it's an aromatic grape, but very complex and so also rich in polyphenols and tannins. So it's very very interesting, and also it's fun to make wine with this because it's surprising.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, for fascinating videos covering Stevie Kim and her travels across Italy and beyond, meeting winemakers, eating local food, and taking in the scenery. Now back to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and also, diving further into that, your winery, and I'm assuming you are also from Castagneto Carducci, which is, for whoever's listening that doesn't know, is in the southern, kind of coastal part of Tuscany, and not too far from Bolgheri, which is very famous. Which is interesting. You're talking about those big alcoholic wines that people think of, and not far away is you can find these fresh, delicious, Aleatico, which I think it's great. I honestly, and also for people to try other styles of rosé too, right? Outside of the norm. And that's another reason I absolutely love the color of the Rosatico, because it's like so different.
It's like on the contrary of the commercial Rosatico style, because at the beginning it was a little bit difficult to explain that for us Aleatico is an aromatic variety, so to extract his varietal characteristics we have to macerate it. So for us the rosé is born in the vineyard because we divided the vineyard at first. So every choice that we make is made on the we keep in mind the enological objective we have, so it's very important for us. Rosé is a very serious thing, but also we want to extract and to express the real character of Aleatico, and Aleatico cultivated in Castagneto Carducci, which is the hill of Bolgheri. So it's so important to macerate it, and when we macerate it, we also extract some color, because Aleatico has not a lot of anthocyanins, but a good quality of anthocyanins, a lot of malvidin. So we extract color, and we want to keep it because it's part of the characteristic of these grapes in this kind of vinification. So we don't want to change its character to make wine similar to other territories, but we want to make an authenticity and to put it in the bottle.
Wow. Well said, honestly. That's amazing. So, I mean, especially, I'm not surprised because you got such a head start in winemaking right after high school. But that's really inspiring because for me, I love wine because Italian wine because of the uniqueness of all these varietals and also what you could do with them from the vineyard. That's awesome. So I want to dive into a couple other questions since we don't have a ton of time. But so Giulia Scalzini, the leading wine lady of Castagneto Carducci. So let's dive into learn a little bit more about you because as we know, wine isn't just us drinking it, it's also making it, but it's the energy, right? It's the experience, it's who you are because I'm not to sound so spiritual, but like, everyone puts their energy into things. So that said, tell us a little bit more about you. What is it like growing up in Castagneto, or what do you like to do? Like, let's learn about Giulia.
My vibe is always simple and positive, but also expectant because I always want to do my best. So apart from studying a lot and be very very curious in this world, in my spare time I like traveling, discover other territories, but also eating good food. And I often I love organize blind tasting of wine with my friends. So basically, in my free time, I eat and drink a lot. And my mother won't be happy when she hears this. So let's say I taste a lot, but also with a higher purpose. It's to feed my curiosity, not my stomach. And I love travel food.
That's a good excuse.
And also, but yes, it's a good excuse. But it's also, for example, when I hang out, I love to go in wine bars or restaurants which are run by people who convey this the passion for wine and food as a culture, experimentation, research. So it's very important for me. I love travel food. And it's a way to learn a lot about other cultures and territories. But I also love doing some other things, working in the woods of our hills. I love to know every corner and enjoy the silence of the Macchia Mediterranea, the sound of nature. And I also really like music and art in general, but I don't have much time to really follow as I want. So I try to keep up to date via internet, podcast, to read news, and so on.
I mean, you do so much, so I wouldn't expect you to be able to. If you told me you were a professional violinist, I would just die right now. I'd be like, I give up. that's okay. No, I'm kidding, but no, that's awesome. So what's the most recent trip you went on? Or not even trip, like where were you, when was the last like really great food and wine tasting, quote unquote, experience? Where did you last, entertain your curiosity?
I've passed recently 5 months in France because in parallel with the managing of my winery, I'm doing a PhD research activity, and so I was abroad for a research period in France, and it was amazing for the research and also for the great products of food and wine. So I was in Montpellier, so in the south, and I loved a lot the wine of the region, which are not not so famous, but it's very very youngest denomination, so it's very dynamic part of the France, and also the cheese. I love the pelardon. It's wonderful cheese.
Yes, I will. Traveling for cheese is worth it. Sometimes more worth it than the wine. Sometimes.
I found a book wonderful. It's Rando Fromage, and there is some maps. You can go and walking into the woods and in the hills and so on, and then you arrive to a point when the cheese is produced. It's amazing.
Oh, wow. Did you do one of the walks?
Not yet, but I will do it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
But for now, I only buy the book.
Oh, you only bought the book. Okay, so that's the next trip.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So, I mean, you can't see me right now, but I already lurked your Instagram before. I'm doing it again. And I was seeing all the photos from France. And I was just and now it all makes sense now that you're studying. Because I was like, is she even in Italy? And then I was like, oh no, she is.
Yeah. It's the experience of the PhD was amazing. I'm actually writing the last article, so it's quite finished, but it's a super experience. It was it led me to learn a scientific method and above all to make applicative results of the research and also to learn about and visit many territories in Italy and abroad. So I'm truly grateful for this opportunity. Being part of a research results in wine with either academic and applicative value at an international level is something amazing. So it's wonderful. Yeah.
Definitely ahead of the curve, I would say, at 27 as somebody who's just a year younger than you. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I am very happy that Stevie passed along your contact to me. And actually, I probably should have said this in the beginning, but Stevie, Kim, the lady that oversees everything, she met Giulia at Fivi, was it about a week ago? Time passes way too fast. But the Vignaioli Indipendenti, the festival. And so I'm so happy that it worked out to have Giulia here. And Giulia, I guess, as any podcast or any presentation would end, is there anything else you'd like to share with the community, the young Italian wine community, before we hop off?
Let's taste our wines, obviously. Thank you very much. It's such amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Giulia. This has been super fun chatting. You can find their winery. I mean, if you can't get the Castagneto Carducci, you can just find them on Instagram, Poggio al Grillo, the winery.
Yeah, follow us, and thank you.
And thank you so much, Giulia.
Bye.
As always, a big grazie for hanging out with me today. Remember, you can catch me every Sunday on the Italian Wine Podcast, available anywhere you can get your pods.